Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is my MK4 Toyota Supra. In the stock form, the car is too slow for me, so I'm going to be making some changes. So I'll take you along. Hope you enjoy. Please like, share, and subscribe. Today we start the journey of building a 1,000+ horsepower Supra. So far I've disconnected the battery. That was the first thing I did. Also, I removed the TRD strut bar. So there's just 3 bolts here. That has been removed. I had to remove the intake here to get to the bolts over there. Also, I've drained the antifreeze out of the radiator, and I've also drained the oil out of the engine as well. The headlights have been removed. That's pretty simple. There's 1 bolt here on top, and then 2 other bolts in the nuts in the back, and that has been removed. Now I'll show you how to remove the bumper. I was looking online and there's no videos of removing the bumper, but I was able to find something that will help us today. So first I'm going to remove this black rubber trim here. Put that down. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips here. We're going to remove those. I'll be updating the intercooler, and I'll share with you guys all the parts that I'm going to use in this build. The intercooler that I'll be using is a Titan Motorsport 5-row race intercooler. It's capable of handling over 1,800 horsepower, so it'll be good enough for this setup. All right. I did also wrap the bumper because when I take it off, just in case it touches on anything, I don't want it to be scratched up or marred in terms of the paint. Also below, it's going to be hard to see, but I'll try to get a good shot of that. There's some retainer clips on the bottom of the bumper as well, and so we'll take a look at that. So there are 6 retainer clips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so the clips have been removed and the metal piece have been removed. This is how it looks. So it's 1 for each side, and each side have 3 clips. Now that we have the lower retainer removed from the bumper, we're going to go into the car. And there's a few 10mm bolts that we got to pull. So here are the bolts here that we're going to be removing out of the car. It's really hard to see. There's a few of them, so I'm going to go through right now and remove them. So we've removed the bottom bolts. Now we're about to remove the retainer clips on the side here that holds up the skirting, the inner fender liner. So it's kind of hard to see, but there are a few of them here. So let's get those removed. So we've removed the clips from the fender liners, and now let's take a look and see how it was lined up before. So when we put the bumper back on, I want to make sure it's back in place. Now the next step with removing the bumper, we have 2 nuts on each side, 10mm. So 1 here and 1 on the other side from the fender liner. So we're going to remove those 2 10mm bolts on this side and also on the other side. Now we have the bumper removed. The 2 10mm nuts that I was talking about that we had to get to, 1 here and the other one here. So there's 2 on each side that you gotta take out before you can remove the bumper. So 1 here and the other one there. So the next step is removing the shifter. I've already removed the rubber booth around the shifter. So here it is, a Velcro strap here that you loosen, unscrew the shift knob. There's some clips here So when you pull this off, you just gently pull it off. Just be careful, the clips, just, it's an older car, so the clips could break. So be very gentle when you pull it off. Then from there are 4 10mm bolts right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how they look. Just use a 10mm. Take those out. Next, I'm going to be removing the rubber booth here and work my way down. So I was able to remove the first rubber booth here. Put that to the side. And now below, there's another rubber booth here that I'll be lifting off. It's pretty easy. Pops right up. And here, there's another rubber booth. So this rubber booth down here. Just lift from here. So this last rubber booth, what I'll do is, I'm not going to take it off completely, but now this gives us access to 4 bolts here that we'll be pulling now. Now we have removed the 4 10mm bolts. This is how it looks. Shifter still won't pop out. There's a 12mm bolt that we got to get to under the car, and then the shifter will actually come out. So let's do that. So we removed the shifter. Now I came back, removed the intercooler piping on the cold side and on the hot side. Now the next step that we're going to be doing, we're going to be removing the radiator fan and the radiator. Now we have the radiator removed, and the reason why we take out the radiator is so when we're pulling the motor out with the transmission, we'll have more space to get it out. I'll be removing any wires going from the engine to the body of the car. Also the throttle cable here, I'll be removing the wire harness that goes into the car. I'm going to be removing that as well. This is a drive shaft. We're going to be removing the 4 14mm nuts. Also, the transmission mount brace, 4 bolts. We're going to be removing 4 bolts. So 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. From here, we're going to move to the engine mounts in the front. There are 2 nuts that we need to remove there. This is the engine mount on the left. So there is the nut there that we got to take out. On the right hand side, here's the other engine mount, and here's the nut that we got to remove. Here's the clutch slave cylinder. We're going to be removing that. So there's some bolts that we got to take out, and we'll remove that. From there, the wires. So this is a reverse wire here, connector, that we're going to be taking out. Disconnecting that. And also on the other side, there's another connector there. We gotta disconnect that as well. So let's get that done. We're gonna be removing the hood. So let's get it all wrapped up before we remove it. Once I take the engine out, I'm gonna be bringing it to Engine Builder. I've purchased all the parts, so I'm gonna be bringing the motor and the parts to the Engine Builder. And I'll share the spec and setup of the motor with you guys as well. While the motor is out and being built, I have plans to steam clean the engine bay as well, just to get rid of all the dirt, grime, and grease out of the engine bay. Now let's mark where the hinges were. So when we put on back the hood, we'll know exactly where to put it. So I'm going to put the tape around the edges. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. After the hood is removed, we're going to connect the engine hoist to the motor. Lifting out the motor slowly. We're going to look around, make sure the motor's not stuck in anything or any connectors that haven't been disconnected. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.